Chers auditeurs, je vous souhaite la bienvenue à votre rendez-vous musical Appassionato sur Radio Judaïka 90.2 FM, que vous pouvez également suivre en streaming sur notre site radiojudaïka.be. Nous avons l'immense plaisir d'accueillir aujourd'hui Jiaxin Min. Bonjour Jiaxin.
Bonjour.
Alors je résume votre parcours. Vous obtenez vos diplômes de bachelor et de master à la Juilliard School de New York, où vous étudiez auprès de Sergei Babayan et Matti Raikaelio. Vous en sortez diplômé en 2020. En septembre 2024, vous commencez votre diplôme d'artiste au Royal College of Music de Londres sous la direction de Dimitri Alexeyev et Vitali Pisarenko. Très jeune déjà, vous remportez vos premiers concours. Dès votre deuxième année d'études de piano à Shanghai, vous obtenez le deuxième prix du Shanghai Young Artist Competition. Puis l'année suivante, le premier prix du Shanghai Arts Festival. En 2012, vous faites vos débuts au Shanghai Concert Hall. Vous êtes invité à vous produire dans des festivals prestigieux. Vous collaborez avec des pianistes tels que Robert Levin et Marc-André Hamelin. Finaliste du concours musical international Reine-Élisabeth de Belgique en 2025, vous avez laissé une impression indélébile auprès du public qui vous a plébiscité. Je vous propose de débuter notre entretien en écoutant l'Allegro ma non troppo, troisième mouvement du troisième concerto pour piano en do major de Sergei Prokofiev. Vous êtes accompagné du Brussels Philharmonic, placé sous la direction de Kazushi Ono. L'Allegro Malentropo, troisième mouvement du troisième concerto pour piano en do majeur de Sergei Prokofiev, notre invité, Jiaxin Min, était accompagné du Brussels Philharmonic placé sous la direction de Kazushi Ono. For the comfort of our guests, this interview will take place in English. Tell us, Jiaxin, do you come from a family of musicians?
I don't come from a family of musicians. Actually, I'm the only person who does music in my family.
So how did the music enter your life?
Well, it's a story that my mom tells everybody. I was too little to have any memory or recollection of what's happened, but apparently, my neighbor, when I was young, about like 2-year-old, maybe 1-2-year-old, my neighbor had a piano at their house, and my parents were good friends with them. So one day they brought me, young baby me, with them to visit the neighbors. And then, all the parents, they started talking, chatting, and then they put me on the piano bench. And then that's, when I saw the piano, I was really interested in the instrument. And of course, I was too little to understand what it is. But then I saw the keyboard, and then I just started pressing the keys. And I pressed all the keys, all the 88 keys, and then I pressed down one key and I listened to the sound very carefully. And that's when the neighbors, they told my parents that maybe she's interested in music and maybe you should send her to piano lessons. And that's basically how I started studying piano. So I started at a very young age, I think about 3.5, 4-year-old. But yeah, that's basically how everything started.
Tell us, how did classical music enter your life?
Well, I mean, of course, you started learning piano and then it entered your life, some kinda. But I think at the moment that I realized, this is something that I want to do it for my life is actually after I went to America for college. So before that, I was just like, thousands of other young kids who studying instruments in China that we spent a lot of time practicing, but we didn't really realize what it meant for us to, take on an instrument and do it for life. So I think I would say classical music really entered my life after I started college and in America.
And when you were very young, it was not too much of a burden, all these piano lessons and all the concentration, the exercises?
I mean, of course, it's it's against the nature of a child that you have to practice for so many hours every day. Of course, I wanted to go out and play with friends, and just like other young kids in probably all over the world, that the parents kind of like forced us to work a little bit. So yeah, I mean, but it was never really a burden for me because as much as I hate practicing when I was a young kid, I actually enjoyed playing piano very much. So I enjoyed performing, I enjoyed playing for others, I enjoyed, being able to go to lessons, and I enjoyed participating in some kids competitions. I enjoy all of that. I just didn't really enjoy practicing, which is normal because it's really kind of like it's a lot of work you have.
Are you enjoying now practicing?
Oh, well, I have to say I am enjoying practicing very much now because it helps you to reflect on yourself when you practice, and I think through practicing, I actually learn a lot about myself, and I know better about myself as well. So I actually enjoy it very much. I think it's more or less like a meditation kind of thing for me now. So yeah, of course, I enjoy practicing now. Yeah.
And you can stay on the same work for a very long time?
I can, yeah. So basically, my practice routine is I start in the morning. I'm a morning person. So I start in the morning and I continue for 7-8 hours non-stop I don't take breaks in between. I don't eat. And then I probably finish around 4 p.m., 5 p.m. And then I stop and I don't touch the piano anymore on the day. But I enjoy, basically after practice, I enjoy my evening. I enjoy the night without piano involved. But yeah, that's pretty much my routine. So I'm able to concentrate for relatively a very long time. And then after that, I completely relax and, do whatever I want after practice, yeah.
Among your teacher, we find Dmitry Alexeyev or Sergei Babayan. In your opinion, what was the main message they tried to convey to you?
Well, I mean, for me, Professor Alexeyev, the message that I got from Professor Alexeyev is to be honest on stage and to be honest when you play. I think for me that's the most important message I got, because nowadays I think inevitably that we want attention from others. Sometimes we do things that please the others, but not necessarily our true intention. And I think it's a very dangerous thing to do if you're a performer, because maybe once or twice, the first time you get attention, and you want to do it again and again and again, and somehow maybe throughout the process you forget about what you really want to do. You do everything just for the attention. But so I think being honest on stage and be very, very sincere about what you do, what you play and how you play, I think it's very important as a performer. So that's probably, I would say, the most important message I got.
From Sergei Babayan?
Well, from Sergei Babayan, it's I think for me it's because I studied with him when I was relatively young. So it's more or less a different story that he had to educate me, not only to be a player but also a pianist, and eventually an artist who know not only about the pieces that I play, but also other music, the whole history of the music, everything basically. I think that's what I learned from him, yeah.
Alors je vous propose de poursuivre en écoutant l'Allegro, troisième mouvement de la 28e sonate pour piano en la majeure opus 101 de Ludwig van Beethoven. Jiaxin Min est au piano. L'Allegro, troisième mouvement de la 28e sonate pour piano en la majeure, opus 101 de Ludwig van Beethoven. Notre invité, Jiaxin Min, était au piano. Alors, tell us, Jiaxin, how did you decide to write yourself into the Queen Elizabeth contest?
Oh, I think I've told this story many times, but it's a very random decision, I have to say, because I think it was just maybe a few weeks before the deadline of the application. I saw online that you can apply for Queen Elizabeth competition. I mean, of course, I knew it. It's a famous competition; everybody knows it. But I never really thought about applying for it until I saw the requirements. The repertoire requirements for the pre-selection is they ask for contrapunctus from the Art of Fugue, which I happen to have one in my repertoire. And I thought, why not? So I recorded everything and then I sent with the application and everything. That's basically how I decided to apply for Queen Elizabeth, which is relatively, short amount of time before the deadline of the application, yeah.
And how did you live this experience? It was not too exhausting?
Oh, it was a wonderful experience. I think it really provided the platform for, pianists who want to build a career, who want to have the visibility, but also, I mean, everyone there was very friendly. They cared about all the musicians a lot, and we had, for example, during the final week in the chapel, I had great food there. They were taking very good care of us. And then because I'm lactose intolerant, so the chef actually made special meal for me every day for every meal, which I appreciate very much. And then, great environment. We were able to practice in our host family's home, beautiful houses. And then we were able to have our own studio in the chapel to work on grand piano every day, for how many hours you want to practice on. And then you have the deers, close to your window. You see the nature, you see the trees, everything. It's a very peaceful environment. And also, I think the fact that people are taking good care of you helped me to focus on playing very much. I think I was able to think about music only and nothing else. So overall, I think it was a wonderful, wonderful experience, really. Yeah, I enjoyed participating in the competition very much.
It's very nice for us to listen that you had such a great experience at La Chapelle, and that in this small country we can make also beautiful and great things for artists. So during the Queen Elizabeth contest, you really conquered the hearts of the audience. How did you react to such a responsive reaction from their side?
Well, I am, very, very grateful for Belgian audience. I think they're always so supportive, always very warm and enthusiastic about me and my playing. And I think this kind of bond I'm able to have with the audience is very precious. And and also after every performances of the competition, and also after the concerts, I talk to people and I get feedbacks from them, and I think that's probably the best thing that could happen to a performer, is that you are able to communicate and build something, very, very special with the audience, with the listeners, and these people are able to understand you through your playing, and you're able to take them on a journey with you. I think that's something that's really, really, it's invaluable, really. Yeah.
Would you say it changed your life?
I would say definitely it changed my life. Yeah. I mean, I'm very encouraged by all the audience and their love. I felt very loved every time I perform in Belgium. And I just appreciate that very, very much. Yeah.
You were loved indeed. Alors, je vous propose de poursuivre avec l'Allegro, troisième mouvement du 27e concerto en si bémol majeur, Köchel 595 de Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Notre invité, Jiaxin Min, est entouré de l'Orchestre de chambre de Wallonie, placé sous la direction de Vahan Martirosyan. L'Allegro, troisième mouvement du 27e concerto en si bémol majeur, Köchel 595 de Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Notre invité, Jiaxin Min, était entouré de l'Orchestre de chant de Wallonie, placé sous la direction de Vahan Mardi-Rossian. Alors Jiaxin, nous avons comme tradition d'offrir à notre invité la possibilité de faire découvrir à nos auditeurs un morceau de son choix. So, Jiaxin, we have a tradition of giving our guests the opportunity to share with our listener a recording of their choice. What would you like to share with our audience?
You mean a piece of music that I would like to share? Well, I think I would probably go with Mozart's Requiem, the Découvrez part, because I think this is, the first time I hear. I mean, of course, I knew it when I was a kid. I mean, it's a very famous work, but I never really. It's a bit ashamed to say, but I never really listened to it until when I was in college. When I was in Juilliard, I took this class about, music history class about the Requiem. And we worked with the professor and we went through all the important Requiems throughout the literature of music. And I remember the first time I heard about, I listened to Mozart's Requiem and I feel like the music really touched my soul. And I think that's the first time I ever felt that in my life, and it's just such a powerful music and beautiful composition. And I think at that point I really started to realize how important to be able to understand the history of the music, the story behind these composers, and also maybe even the whole history of Western music in general, because that's really the basic of, being a performer, being a musician, so to speak. So yeah, I think that piece is really the turning point. I wouldn't say for my professional career, but it's a turning point for my life as a musician, for sure, yeah.
Alors, je vous propose de l'écouter maintenant. Nous venons d'écouter l'Introitus, le Kyrie et le Dies Irae du Requiem de Mozart. L'ensemble Pygmalion était dirigé par Raphaël Pichon. Votre émission de musique classique Appassionato touche ainsi à sa fin. Merci beaucoup, Jiaxin, d'avoir accepté notre invitation. Thank you so much for...
Thank you.
Merci à Clément Villansen d'avoir assuré la technique de cette émission. N'oubliez pas qu'Appassionato est diffusé sur les ondes et le site de Radio Judaïka les lundis à 15h, les vendredis à 13h et les dimanches à 9h. Merci, chers auditeurs, de nous avoir écoutés. À la semaine prochaine. D'ici là, portez-vous bien.